Hello, good to you wherever you're watching from. Thank you for tuning in to another series of Simple Safety Talk with Fumilola Oladokun. And if you are joining us for the first time, we say a big welcome to you. This is where we discuss safety topics in simple, easy to understand format. And so kindly smash the subscription button, click the like button, and press the notification bell for subsequent series. And if you've not watched the previous series on home safety, what you need to know, kindly go back to our channel and watch all the series on home safety, what you need to know. To all our returning subscribers, thank you very much. We really appreciate your encouragement. Kindly keep the comments coming as we discuss today home safety, what you need to know. And today we'll be talking about something very important and relevant to all of us, which is common home accidents. Common home accidents. A lot of accidents happen in the home, which may be preventable. And so we'll be discussing common home accidents today, and we'll be we'll be dwelling much on falls. Falls, what we need to do to prevent it, what exactly is a fall, and what are the basic ways of preventing a fall in the home. Thank you once again for tuning in. Come along now as we discuss falls with respect to common home accidents. Common home accidents, what you need to know. There are many home accidents, but as I said earlier, we'll be talking more about the fall, but I'll just run through it so that we just know what are the common home accidents, which are falls, fires, cuts, burns, choking, drowning, and poisoning. So these are the common home accidents, but we are going to be discussing falls today in detail. And so falls, did you know that falls are among the most common household accidents, especially for young children and the elderly? Do you know that they can lead to serious injuries like concussion, which is an injury of the skull, broken bones, or even death? Do you know that injuries due to falls are one of the most common household hazards? Have you ever fallen before in the home? I have fallen before, but have you ever fallen before? If your answer is yes, so this topic is very, very relevant to all of us so that we can know how to prevent a fall in the home. And also at the end of the day, we'll be preventing serious injuries like broken bones, like concussion, or even death. Falls. We'll be discussing falls in three basic formats, which is slips, trips, and fall from height. Fall is just divided into three categories. So not all falls is the same. A fall can be a slip, it can be a trip, or it can be a fall from height. And we will discuss slips right now. What exactly is a slip? A slip happens when there's too little friction between your feet, your footwear, and the ground. If you are wearing a footwear, it means that it's between your footwear and the ground. And if you are not wearing a footwear, that means it's between your feet and the ground. So what happens is that when there's a little friction, something is there that is obstructing the friction, that's allowed the friction between your feet and the ground to be compromised. It eventually results into a slip. Sometimes you stagger to balance up, but sometimes, most times, if you have not been able to balance up, it results into a fall, and that is a fall as a result of a slip, which is because there was little friction between your feet and the ground, or between the footwear and the ground. And so, what are the common causes of slips? The first thing we'll talk about is wet or oily surface. When we have a wet or oily surface, it can cause a slip. Occasional spills on the floor or on a surface can also cause a slip. And we have loose unanchored rugs, mats, which also can cause you to lose, which can reduce the friction between your leg and the ground, and or flooring or other walking surfaces that do not have same degree or traction in all the areas, maybe due to damage or lack of maintenance. Some of the flooring parts are already losing their traction. It can result into a slip. So what is a trip? And remember, we slip backwards. What is a trip? A trip happens when something halts your motion, that is, your foot collides or strike an object, causing you to lose your balance and eventually fall. Something halting your motion is what we call a trip. And when you fall due to that, it is a trip. Like you have a wiring cable that halts your motion, an open drawer. So when you bump into it and then you lose your balance and fall, it is called a trip. And what are the causes of trips? We have obstructed view, probably carrying an object that is higher than your head and has blocked your view. You won't be able to see where you're going. So it's an obstructed view. It can cause a trip because you can bump into something that you didn't see and fall through that. Or poor lighting. Walking in an area where there is poor lighting or no lighting at all can also result into a trip because you won't be able to see where you're going, and it can cause you to bump into something. Clutter in your way can also serve as an obstruction. Wrinkled carpeting. Wrinkled carpeting can also act as an obstruction, or uncovered cables. Cables blocking your pathway can cause an obstruction. And bottom drawers, cabinet not being closed, uneven steps, threshold, walking surfaces, all these can cause a trip, which can also result into a fall, which is a fall as a result of a trip. What exactly is fall from height? Fall happens when your body is in an unstable, elevated position. It happens when your body is in an unstable, elevated position, and so we fall. We normally say that we fall from height. And when we fall, what are the common causes of fall from height? Wrong or elevated platform, using a wrong or elevated platform to walk. And I know that in a lot of places, there are some things that you want to do at height. Probably a change of a bulb, as little as you want to change a bulb, you use something that is not supposed to be used as an elevation, as a platform. Sometimes it can result into a fall from height. And stairways, imbalanced stairways. If a stairways is imbalanced, it can also result into a fall from height, or unguarded or improper handrails. And unguarded or improper handrails can also result into a fall from height. So what are the things that we need to do with respect to these three, which is slips, trips, and fall? The basic fact is that both slips and trips result into some kind of unintended or unexpected change in the contact between the feet and the ground or the walking surface. So the part shows that good housekeeping, quality of walking surfaces, that is our flooring, selection of proper footwear, and appropriate pace of walking are critical to preventing fall motion. Or there's something that prevents that compromises the friction between our ground and the footwear or our feet. All of them are still under a major subheading which we call good housekeeping. And sometimes the quality of walking surfaces, when the flooring is bad, or because of the aesthetics of the flooring, because of the beauty of the flooring, and the beauty is so shiny and slippery, it can also cause a fall. So it is important for us to know that even as little as selection of a footwear can also cause a fall. And it is just important that we understand the ways that we can use to arrest this fall so that it does not happen at all. Prevention is key, like we said in the previous series. And so housekeeping. What exactly is housekeeping? Basic housekeeping, it just involves routine activities that keeps a home clean, a home safe, and a home organized. Like we normally say, have you heard before? A place for everything and everything in its place. Good housekeeping is the first and the most important way of preventing falls, which is due to slips, trips, and fall from height. Good housekeeping is very, very important. And ways to prevent falls. We'll be talking about different ways we can use to prevent a fall in this series. And the first thing we'll be talking about is a place for everything and everything in its place. Our toys, our children's toys, our shoes, bags, books, or whatever we have that we display all around the house, we need to put them in the right place. Does it even have a place at all? So if it does not have a place at all, the first thing we need to do is to mark a particular place for everything, a place for everything and everything in its place. Clean off spills immediately and mark spills and wet areas. You know, we discussed in an earlier series of spot it, assess it, and control it. And we said the control is either by elimination or information dissemination. So it is important for us to eliminate anything, any form of hazards and risk associated with falling when we see that our floors there is a spill on the floor, whether it is water or oil, whatever it is, we need to eliminate it by cleaning off the spill immediately. And also by information dissemination, by marking the area, by letting people know that this area is wet or this area, there's a spill in this area, and what I want to do, I've not been able to area. Effective cleaning by removal of debris from the floor. We said that a trip can happen when something halts our motion. So when we have debris on the floor, or we even have a kind of debris that can cause a trip, like something like a banana peel, which has a slippery format, can cause a slip. So it is important for us to immediately remove debris from our floors and remove clutter and other obstructions or obstacles from exit areas, our walkways or hallways or corridors. It is important for us to declutter. There are so many things that we need to remove from our exit areas. It is very, very wrong for our exit areas to be obstructed with anything. So declutter, remove all the clutters. If you have seen something that you have not used in your home for months, for years, you have not used it, I think it's time to throw it away or give it out if it's still in good use. So remove clutters, declutter, to make sure that our pathways, our exit ways, corridors are clear of any form of obstruction. Secure tapings or tackings like mats, rugs, and carpet that do not lay flat. So it's important for us. There are some mats or carpet that are already degenerating. So it is important for us to look for ways that we can use to secure those mats or rugs. And keep cabinets, keep storage drawers and cupboard closed always. Immediately we are taking something from the cabinet, it is important for us to close it at all times so that it can prevent somebody bumping into it or you yourself bumping into it. And keep cords out of work areas or areas frequently used is also very, very important. For cabling that crosses walkways, cabling that crosses corridors, it is important for us to make sure that we cover them. And as much as possible, all our cords and all the extension and all that should be removed from walkway pathways. It is very, very important because sometimes we do forget. And when we forget, we can trip over those things. Keep every part of the home well lit and replace faulty bulbs and switch immediately. It is important for us to know that we have said it that some of the common causes of trip is darkness or bad lighting. So it is important for us to make sure that every part of our home is well lit. There are some designs and aesthetics that we do to the home that it's also hazardous. So we just need to check those areas. If it is not well lit, it can cause somebody bumping into something that they didn't see. And when we have faulty bulbs or faulty switches, it is important that we replace them immediately so that those areas can be well lit to prevent any form of fault. And also we should use the right elevated platform for any work that we want to do. We want to change a bulb or probably whatever you want to do in the home. You want to pick up something. There are steppers and ladders that are meant for the home. So we can use those ones as an elevated platform instead of using an inappropriate elevated platform like a chair or something that is not meant for that purpose, which may have a high risk of fall. We discussed risk and hazard last week, and we said that risk is the probability and the severity. Probability that something is going to happen and what are the consequences of it. So when we use an unapproved or platform for a platform to work at height, the probability of us falling from the elevator platform that is not the right thing is high. And I said high risk, low risk, and medium risk. So let's eliminate those risks by making sure that we use the right platform for the right job. And so provide a firm or sturdy handrail for staircases and grab bars for showers and bathtubs. So it's important for us to know, for some of us who live in a home with a staircase, the handrails need to be checked, and it has to be sturdy. That means it has to be firm and fit for that area, so that we can use the handrails to guide ourselves. It's a safety precaution. Handrails is not for aesthetic. Majorly is a safety precaution. So it must be sturdy and firm, so that when we grab it, it can be firm and help our balance. And also in our showers and bathtub, it is important for us to have grab bars, so that to prevent probably sometimes when we want, if we want to sleep as a result of the watery floor, we can use the grab bars to hold ourselves, to maintain our balance. And also providing non-skid mats. Provide non-skid mats in the shower or in the bathroom. For homes where we have slippery towels on the floor, it is important for us to have these non-skid mats in the shower, so that it can help us to prevent slips in the bathroom. So thank you for watching today. We will see ourselves in another series where we'll be discussing another common home accident. So from me to you, bye for now. Kindly like, subscribe if you have not subscribed to the channel, and share to your friends. Home safety matters is everybody's business. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.